Next up, we have Ian Holland. He's the Managing Director of Navarre Minerals, and their code, ASX code, is NML. Ian, over to you to tell the Navarre story. It's all the way down there in Victoria, but you're still at work.
For sure, absolutely. Good morning, Kerry, and thanks for the opportunity to share with your listeners the Navarre story. I'll just start the steps through the presentation. There will be some forward-looking statements, I guarantee you, and this presentation is available on our website. Really, just to build a picture from the outset, as you touched on, we are located in Victoria. Victoria is absolutely a world-class address for high-grade gold discoveries. It has been historically, and with the rise of Stawell Gold Mine in the last few years, it's been proven to be so again. So we think it's a great jurisdiction to operate in. And
just for those of you that don't know Fosterville, I'll say it again, and you'll hear it from others. Fosterville is one of the highest grade gold mines in the world, I think, Ian.
Correct. Yeah, that's right. Yep, correct. With respect to Navarre, I think what differentiates us from our peers in Victoria is that we're more advanced. We're a long way down the path. We've actually defined our maiden mineral resource, and that was a significant milestone for us at the end of March. So this is in our Stawell Corridor Gold Project, which you'll hear much more about. But we defined a maiden 300,000 ounce mineral resource, and really it's just the start. So we see this as a first instalment on the path to a 1 million ounce resource inventory and beyond. And we also see a potential maiden mineral resource at St Arnaud next year as well. And I'll talk more about that because we just put some high grade results out earlier this week, and I'll be keen to talk about that.
I'll be keen to hear about that.
Yeah, for sure. Over and above that, we absolutely see significant exploration upside across the portfolio. So both within those two core projects, but also beyond. And I'll talk specifically about the Glen Lyle project and the Morningville prospect within that. And I think to complement all of that, and a crucial ingredient here is you can have all the best prospects in the world, but you need the right people to do so. And we've got an experienced board, a quality management team, and I think really the right people to be taking this forward and creating value.
So what I say to all you listeners out there, if you can have the best asset in the world, but if you don't have the right people, and here they are.
Yeah, for sure. So here's the rogues gallery. But 3 members of the board, 2 have been long-term. So Navarre Minerals has been listed for 10 years. Kevin Wilson, the non-executive chair, and Jeff McDermott, who's now the technical director. He was the founding managing director. They remain heavily involved with the company, and that's fantastic because that's institutional memory and knowledge. Myself, I've much more recently to the picture, and managing director since September last year. Again, just for your viewers, background, I mentioned Fosterville before. I had a long-term association with Fosterville, and I was the general manager there for 7 years, and after that, vice president of Australian operations for Kirkland Lake Gold for a couple of years as well. So lots of history in Victoria.
Yeah, and having that relationship that, as you did with Kirkland Lake Gold for as long as you did, does that help you in your understanding of this geological structure? Because it is in and around that area, and having that, I guess, that knowledge of Fosterville gives you a heads up with this Navarre project.
For sure, yeah, I think both with the geology, absolutely, but also with the government, with regulators, with community. I think all those things help when you've got a background in it, for sure. And to round out the team, Shane Mealy is our exploration manager, deeply experienced in Victoria, and we've had recently come on board Paul Hissey as our chief financial officer, and really good ingredient to add to the mix. Capital markets background and really helps with that space as well, because again, you need the prospects, you need the people, but what you also need is the financial capacity to do so, and being able to raise the money is important. Corporate overview, just 2 things to highlight here. One is cash at bank. So at the end of June, we had just over $14 million in the treasury, so well financed to be able to do what we wanted to do going forward over the next 12 to 24 months. and the registry. So strong register for a company of our scale, we would believe. So 3 significant investors, 2 of those are strategic corporates. So Kirkland Lake Gold, which own and operate Fosterville, have 8.2% of our issued shares. The Victor Smorgon Group, who own and operate the Stawell Gold Mine, have 6.1%, along with a private investor who's a strong supporter, Stephen Nordstrom, with 6.8%. In terms of where we're located, really it's central and western Victoria. So the Stawell Corridor is our flagship project. Its mineralisation style is analogous to the Stawell Gold Mine, and again, for your viewers who may not be aware, this is a world-class deposit, world-class operation. 5 million ounces of historic production and counting, because it's still in production, and we've got a very similar geological footprint to the south, which I'll talk much more about. Near there, but in different geology, is Glenlisle, which is a virgin gold-silver discovery under later cover, which I'll talk about as well. Our second really large-scale core project is St Arnaud, and really from our perspective, we're just getting started here. It's about 80 kilometres by road from Stawell, and we've just put out earlier this week some results, and I'll talk about that. The Jubilee project, which is adjacent to Ballarat and acquired last year and really pending drilling, and our Tandara joint venture with our joint venture partner to the north of Bendigo, where we're basically looking for a Bendigo scale project, discovery, undercover. I'll talk a bit about that as well. Really important for your again for your viewers to recognise, we'll be continuously operating through this period. We'll have continuous drilling at both the Stawell Corridor and St Arnaud, so there's no gap. There's no quiet season where we stop. So there'll be consistent positive. Well, we certainly hope there's positive news flow, but consistent news flow, and we'll be looking to really to keep the market, keep our shareholders regularly informed. In terms of the Stawell Corridor Gold Project, so this is our most advanced, and this is, as I touched on, the 70-kilometre belt of rocks to the south of Stawell in a similar geological setting. So the Magdala Gold Mine at Stawell, the Stawell gold operation, it's hosted on the margins of a basalt dome, and again, I don't want to become too technical, but basically what that provides is a host for the mineralisation. We've got 7 of these domes defined through our belt of rocks, same age, same sort of geometry, and through a combination of drilling and geophysics, we've identified these, and each of them have the potential to host a Stawell type and scale deposit in their own right. The most advanced of these for us is the Irvine dome, and this is where you see the Ararat Goldfield there, where there've been previous historic alluvial mining, and here we've defined a maiden resource within the Resolution and Adventure prospects. So 300,000 ounces, but very much on the path to 1 million ounces and beyond. And the reason I say that with some conviction is this image here, which is a long section. So this is a north-south section looking to the west, and it's the very northern end of our tenement package. So this is Resolution and Adventure prospects. The resource itself is in the red colour there, so that's the 300,000 ounces. It's pretty shallow. It's within 300 metres or so of surface. The orange there is a exploration target over and above that resource. So it's a further 300,000 to 400,000 ounces that's been compiled in accordance with the JORC code. So this is a formal exploration target, but it's very much open as well. So we absolutely see within that canvas the potential for 1 million ounces and indeed beyond. And taking the next scale out, this just reinforces the larger scale potential. So Where we see the Irvine dome there, those two red blobs are the resource. We can see the area below that that's open and untested on the basalt dome. For scale, we can see the Magdala mine at Stawell, and this is the 5 million ounces.
Wow.
Still in production, mined down to 1.6 kilometres below the surface. So these things have deep roots, and for us, we're only really tapping at the top of our system on the Irvine dome. And then we can see some of the other domes that we have as well. And Langi Logan has been, that's the next one to the south. It's been tested with shallow surface drilling, and we see all widths and grades there. So it needs diamond drilling as the next stage. So we think this whole corridor has got a number of these domes that have each got Magdala type, scale and potential. So multi-million ounce potential. Clearly, it'll take time and investment to unlock, but we're pretty excited about where we are on the journey. So really just rounding that out. And again, you can see this in plan on the right. In yellow there is our 70 kilometres of belt with the red elongate shapes as the domes. Lots of other activity in the region. So this isn't a greenfields area with no mining background. Stawell's been in continuous operation for more than 40 years. Stawell Minerals to our west in blue have defined, are in the process of defining a resource for their Cayley Lode discovery. Really exciting, and all of this adds to, I guess, the potential for further development in the region, which helps with community and government expectations. Just stepping to St Arnaud, and I've mentioned that we did put out some results here, which I'll briefly talk about. This is a really significant scale project, so 1,600 square kilometres or thereabouts. But the key for us was to actually secure the tenement over the old goldfield, which was a competitive application process that we were successful in late last year, rather. We've hit the ground running. We've undertaken a pretty extensive air core drilling program, and they're the results that you see on the right there, including up to 36 grams gold in air core drilling, which is exceptional grade.
Spectacular grade.
Spectacular grade. And then we've followed that up with a maiden diamond drilling program. So the long section on the right of the image there is some of those results from that release that we put out on Monday morning, including a metre at 15, a metre at 11, and up to 38 grams in individual assays. So early days, but we're pretty excited about what we see. We've got a rig that's continuing to drill here, and we'll be ramping that up further over the next few months. Really chasing that maiden resource.
Yeah, so that's quite a big deal, isn't it? Those numbers, have they surprised you to the upside? Because I'm pretty excited looking at those numbers. Has that surprised you?
Sure. Look, it hasn't surprised us, because this is what the old field was. It was these relatively narrow veins, but high grades. The historic mining at St Arnaud was at 15 grams per tonne or thereabouts, and 400,000 ounces was extracted from here, which basically finished at World War I. So it hasn't seen modern exploration, hasn't seen significantly anyway, hasn't seen modern mining techniques. So we think there's a lot of potential here. In the interest of time, I will step on though. So this is the Glen Lyle project, which is about 40 kilometres to the south west of Stawell. The geology is a bit different here. So this is the Stawell volcanics, so much more, I guess, akin to what Stawell Minerals have to the south at Thursday's Gossan and Cayley Lode. This was a blind geophysical discovery. So this is covered with a thin veneer of basalt, ladder basalt. And we defined a geophysics target using both magnetics and gravity. We're able to drill through the volcanics with air core drilling. We've mapped out a pretty extensive footprint. So a gold-silver anomaly over a kilometre strike length up to 400 metres wide. those programs showed some high peak grades, so up to 390 grams silver, 16 grams gold, 9% zinc, 4.8% lead in individual assays. And we think it's likely part of a much larger system. So looking at that in long section, we can see it there with the magnetic anomaly as well, with that image. And you can see there some of the results of the maiden diamond drilling program that we've put out. So we've undertaken the very first diamond drilling here, 8 holes. We've released 3 of those, with the remaining 5 working their way through the system, and and high grade gold in each of them, including a meter at 16 grams gold, and other results as well within those first 3. So given it's a blind discovery, given that it's the very first diamond holes that have gone into it, we're pretty excited, and we're undertaking a significant geophysics program as we speak, an IP program which will help to target our next program. There's cropping in this region, so we will be able to re-access around about January, but we'll be excited to get in there after we've digested all of this information. Briefly on the next 2 projects, so Jubilee, 25 kilometres from Ballarat. We acquired this mid last year, and I wouldn't want to overplay the analogy here, but it's the reason we were attracted to it is its geometry has got some analogies to the high grade controls at depth at Fosterville within the Swan and Eagle system. So it's a transverse east-west reef. That's pretty rare for central Victoria. It was very continuous, so 12 grams recovered, so perhaps 15 grams in situ, and paid dividends for a dozen years leading up to World War I. And wow, like a lot of these fields, it basically it petered out and completed when the miners went away. So what we've been able to do here is to undertake a first pass air core program, a first pass geophysics program. We've identified coincident chargeability, geophysical anomalies, chargeability and resistivity anomalies. We've followed that with air core drilling. We've identified anomalous gold in each of those target areas, and the next stage is a maiden diamond drilling program.
Couple of minutes left, my friend.
Perfect. So final project here is our joint venture at Tandara. So this is really looking for the next Bendigo undercover to the north. We're a 49% holder here. And the cover here is Murray Basin cover, so later sediments. The footprint of the project is Bendigo in scale, and again for your viewers, Bendigo was a 22 million ounce gold field, world class in anyone's language, but largely finished by World War I. So it absolutely has the capacity to host some high grades, and we're working closely with our joint venture partner here to move it forward. So just to sum up all of that, Victoria, absolutely a world-class address for high-grade gold, has been and continues to be so. The maiden resource for us was just a down payment on the path to a million-ounce inventory and beyond, and we see that absolutely at the Stawell Corridor, and we like what we're starting to see at St Arnaud, and hopefully that's moving in the same direction. We're committed to advancing the Morning Bill discovery at Glenlar. We think we are at a major scale system potentially, and we're seeking to understand that. And obviously we want to undertake a maiden diamond drilling program at Jubilee and continue to advance Tandara. So, all of that, we think really makes a pretty compelling exploration story for your viewers, and I'd encourage anyone who's further interested to make contact, and we can discuss.
Ian Holland from Navarre Minerals, thanks for joining us today on the path to a million-ounce inventory and unearthing that prosperity. It's a lot of ground that you've got to cover, but in fields which have got historically some very, very good ounces that have been discovered. So good luck with it all. Really appreciate you joining us today. As I said,
Great. Thanks, Gary. Much appreciated.
ASX code NML, Navarre Minerals. Check them out, Victorian Goldfields.